back. So where the heck have I been? Well, it's been a while since I posted that video about what I wore to the book launch event, and I needed a break. I knew I needed a break because I started getting so overwhelmed that I forgot things. Have you ever done that? Is it a midlife thing? Do I need to go to the doctors and have a few tests? What's going on? Why was I forgetting things? Well, I think this poor little brain, this poor little old brain of mine had just had enough. So today I'm coming to you without any makeup. I'm coming to you without having done my hair. I'm coming to you while I make myself a cup of tea. Lime scale. Ugh. It's even just been done. Oh my God. I can't have that. I can't have that. Ugh. So, welcome to England. Welcome to London. The south of England where it's particularly lime scaly. Anyway, so here I am back, and I'm going to be a busy girl. I've got 8 weeks before I go away again, and in that 8 weeks, I'm getting myself together because I've made some no line scale. I've made some massive, massive changes. Actually, let me tell you a little story about me and lime scale. So when I was a sales rep, I moved over to green tea because I used to sell maintenance and engineering products. And when I was selling the maintenance and engineering products, I found that they would always say to me, or the nicer ones, nicer customers would say, "Come here, sit down. Do you want a cup of tea?" And I'd have a cup of tea, and sometimes they'd use real milk, sometimes they'd use out-of-date milk, sometimes they'd use a variety of different seed milks or whatever, and sometimes they'd use evaporated milk. And sometimes they'd use powdered milk that really should only go in coffee if you're really desperate. So I started taking my own tea bags, and of course I couldn't take a little pot of milk everywhere with me. That was ridiculous. It would only leak, make the car stink eventually. So I started taking green tea bags, and I realised that when I had green tea, can you see? Looks like we. When I had green tea, I realised it was clear. So if they hadn't cleaned their kettle out recently, and it had lots of floaters in it, loads of lime scale and stuff, I would know to politely dispose of it when they weren't looking, or just maybe get distracted and forget to drink it. So, yeah, and it's a hangover from then. I've carried on drinking it now. Normal tea just tastes really odd. Have it when I'm in shock with loads of sugar in, but apart from that, yeah, no. So, yeah, why have I been so busy and so distracted? Well, I've been doing lots of books. So for anyone who watches my channel, my other channel, the Pod and Passive Income channel, I do print on demand, and I have all my own print on demand products out there. I also teach people print on demand, or have been doing. I've been running a membership and running courses as well, and VIP days at one point. And I also help people who've written their books. I do it as a service. I format their book and I turn it into a real book and upload it onto Amazon and make sure it's a bestseller, and, well, do my best to put it in the right categories that actually relate to the book, not just random ones. I'm not a fan of that. More on that on my KDP stuff over there. I'll link to it here. But all of this got a bit much. I was doing too much and I was overwhelmed. My little brain couldn't handle it. And it turned out that anything I hadn't written down on my calendar or taken a photo of or sent to myself in a message, perhaps I should condense this into one place. Anything I hadn't done like that just got forgotten. Just went completely out of my head. And with little things like taking the bins out or even letting the dogs out for a wee week, and I mean, ultimately, they'll come and tell me anyway if they're desperate and need to go. But then something big. I forgot a whole holiday. So one of the lovely ladies I work with and I wanted to do a retreat at the house out in Spain near the end of the year. And the idea was that we would go out there sort of 6 months before, plan it all, find everything we needed for excursions, entertainment. Really, obviously, it's going to be a lot of time spent writing and training. But I forgot it. completely forgot about it, double booked myself terribly, completely let her down, and I am so sorry, feel so dreadful, but also feel like such a fool. How did I forget? So, beating myself up about it didn't work, so I'm going to do something about it. I've already made the decision recently that I'm going to be closing down some of my business. I have a membership, which people very kindly send me money every month so that I can do training and tips. I'm on YouTube now, so I can do tips and training and all the things that they need on my pod and passive income channel. And if there's something really deep I need to go into, I can do that unlisted or private so that they're getting value for money. That sounds great. But then I made another decision, which was I don't feel right taking money off these people anymore if my focus and my purpose has moved away from the membership. My heart's not in it anymore. Am I giving them value? No, I'm not. So I've closed it. I've stopped all their subscriptions. Now my business head says, what? People are willing to give you money and you're cancelling it. That is insane, isn't it? That's mad. Who does that? Why would you do that? Well, I've done it because it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. It feels like I have to keep servicing that membership and it's not legitimate somehow. The other problem is print on demand, which I love. Cut me in half, it says print on demand. I'm a big fan of print on demand, but it's got so big and there are so many print on demand platforms and providers, and I would love to be a complete expert in all of them. But I'm only one, I would say, tiny little human. I started a diet yesterday, so I will hopefully be getting a little tinier. But there's only me, and if I can outsource things, I will and do. But I can't do it all, and I can't do it all properly, and none of us can. Absolutely none of us can. It's not fair to the people who are paying the money. It's not fair to the people who are getting help from you for free or getting advice and tips from you. It's not fair to my subscribers on that channel. I hope this is fair for you guys listening to this, to be honest, because this is probably not very amusing, but it's from the heart, and it's where I am right now and why I've been so quiet. So, made lots of decisions, closing lots of things down. I will be continuing with Pod 123, which I do with a lovely lady called Marie Walker. And most of the Pod and Passive Income channel will be talking about Pod 123. What the hell is Pod 123? I hear you ask. Well, what Pod 123 is it's a course, it's a workshop. You can do either, you can do both. We are keeping it absolutely minimal cost because we want people to start their own merchandise store, to have their own website, to have their own e-commerce store. Now, I know what you're saying. I can hear you saying it. We can do that. We can do that on Shopify. I've got a Shopify store. Brilliant. And I'm so pleased for you if you have, because I think Shopify are magnificent. However, especially when you're first starting out, $29 a month, and I know they do. They often usually run these, sort of try them for a little while first. But it takes more than that. It takes longer to get your store up and running often. Not always, but often. And you don't want to keep paying out blindly $29 a month. I'm not dissing Shopify, as I say. I think it's a really great concept. I think it's done incredibly well. It's very slick, and I really like it. But what if you could have a website where you're not paying a monthly fee? What if you could have an e-commerce store that you're not paying a monthly fee on? What if you've got an e-commerce store that you're not paying a monthly fee on, but you can link, so you've got it as like a sales page in your existing website? So you're not paying for two anymore. You'd just be paying for your existing website. Anyway, this isn't a promotional thing all about that. I'm just telling you what that is and why I think it's so exciting. So go over to the other channel, and there are going to be lots and lots and lots and lots of videos coming about that. Our next live workshop, and it'll be online, is in the middle of April. think it's April the 15th, but I shall put a thing up to correct that if I'm completely wrong, because as you can see, I'm in the kitchen making a cup of rapidly going cold tea while I rattle on about all the changes. The other part of my business is with the lovely Louisa. And this is where Louisa is a storytelling coach, a success and storytelling coach, and she helps people to write their stories, get it all together in a really enjoyable, readable way. And it promotes people's businesses. It also helps with their causes and things like that. She is amazing at it, and I'm so proud to work with her. But what she does is she gets it all done, and then she gives it to me, and I turn it into a book. And then I get it on Amazon, as I say. And then we do a launch, and then people buy it, and the world is a wonderful place with a new book in it, a new baby book being born. Oh my goodness. We shouldn't be called the Publishing Pod. We should be called the Book Midwives. I don't know. Anyway, so it's quite time consuming, but I love it. I love it. Seeing those authors, those people who never thought they were going to be authors, getting their words out there in print, getting that book in their hand when they first open the packet from Amazon, when they first order it and see it and feel it, and sniff the pages, and then seeing all the things that come from it, the press, the excitement. One of our authors today, actually, her book isn't due to be released until April the 11th. I'll tell you about that on April the 11th. But she's at a radio station today talking about the book, talking about what it's about. Her book is about addiction. It's about overcoming alcohol addiction. And it's a phenomenal book. And I hope it will get out there and change lives, because it certainly deserves to. And she certainly deserves it. Go for it, Dawn. Are you recording right now? I think you might be, actually. Or live, even. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to leave this and get onto that in a moment. But the other thing I'm doing is this. It's YouTube. So the Pod and Passive Income channel, aforementioned, and this one, more about me, my life, everything else. That sounds terribly egocentric, I grant you. But it's not. It's hopefully going to be showing that midlife, reaching your 50s, I'd like to say mid, but I'm over the hill of mid slightly now, doesn't mean that you just give up, put a big flowery smock on, unless you want to, of course, and become a Les Dawson character. It doesn't. And if you're in the States or anywhere else in the world, and not in the UK, and not of a certain age like me, I hate the phrase, don't you? Not of this sort of age, then you might not know who Les Dawson is, but I'll leave you to Google him. He's brilliant, and his daughter is just fabulous. It's just fab. So, too glam to give a damn. Anyway, I am going to drink this. I'm going to reboil the kettle, rinse it out, reboil the kettle. I needed, from my own point of view, to get this explanation out there as to why I had to go away and sort it out. I mean, I'm even closing down my website and starting again. All that work that's gone into it, it just feels so stale. Oh, the other reason that I know this is right is I've recently invested in a social media course, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get started. When I say a social media course, specifically about doing videos, video content, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get started. And I'd also got a place booked on a speaker boot camp, because in my heart, I've always, a bit loud, but also a bit nervy, wanted to go on stage and overcome these nerves and get on stage. And I can't sing, I can't act, I'm going to give it a damn good go. But I want to find my voice. And I did think it would be in sales training, because I was a sales rep for such a long time. Now, then would it be put on demand? So I went into this speaker boot camp hoping to be able to find a way to talk about put on demand and get up on stages and speak about it. But I couldn't. I hit a block again. And on the way home, all I did was cry. I mean, I drove and concentrated on the road, but I cried and cried. I sobbed. When I say on my way home, this was hours. It was hours. It wasn't just down the road. It was in the Midlands, and I live in London. So it was a big thing. But I just cried and cried because I knew it was like these blocks are because you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. This isn't right. You're desperately trying to please too many people and therefore not pleasing anybody, least of all myself. So, yes, I'm slimming down pod and passive income. Yes, I'm slimming down the services and things that I offer and things that I do. All of those members, I've made sure they've still got access to their training. I haven't abandoned anybody. And yeah, there we go. Look at world, she's coming. And that, my friends, is how you open your heart on YouTube.